We're waiting for Jeff to make a mistake, and then we'll bust on him, and then we'll tell him how many shows it's been. The only mistake so far is that it's taking too long.
Maybe
taking too long. Welcome to Everyone Racers,
a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing
and an oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of Limit Champ or Lucky Track Dog League you run.
SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate.
As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions,
tips, tricks, as well as news and notes
from the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot, sweet little Lucky Enough, and Chrissy.
And I give you just the tip.
We're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less.
Okay.
Oh, I guess everyone report to the paddock.
Everybody report to the paddock.
Yeah. This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm El Jefe.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Welcome to an aspirational mid-size boat episode of our podcast. It's episode 285. And so many boat companies make a 285 something. So unless you're driving your Boston Whaler Conquest 285, Grady White Freedom 285, or God forbid your Bayliner 285, then get out your E1R bingo card.
Or you're on Route 285.
Yep.
There's a lot of Route 285s.
Jeff, yes.
Now let me see if I get this straight. What length is a Whaler Conquest 285?
28.
What length is a Grady White Freedom 285?
I don't know. Probably 28.
28.
Probably 28.
What length is a Bayliner 285? It's probably like 23.
No, it's probably 28 still.
Oh,
okay.
I'm just wondering when you were born into this, when we became boaters elitist. God forbid Bayliner. Why are Bayliners bad?
It's like
they have Volvo
like
and
or a Huffy.
It's the build quality. It's not very good. They don't hold up. They're not.
They all of their designs,
don't they?
All of their designs are like a shorter length, but designed like a bigger one. Like they take a 19-foot design and they put it in a 15-foot boat. And then they take a 28-foot design and they put it in a, like a 22-foot boat.
Also, I have to say that this is the best we could come up for 285 because 285 had nothing going on.
Well, we're excited about the topic tonight. You may have figured it out.
I don't know.
I don't know
if they're watching the video, but
true.
You're absolutely right.
Let's get on to what you're working on, Chrissy.
Yes. So Chris and I went up to the Garage Hero and Training headquarters up in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, up there area. I watched Chris and Vicky build an engine and fiddle with the transmission. He'll tell you more about that. I putzed around in the garage. I was pretty sick when I went up there. I am now better. So we went up, looked at car stuff. Chris did a lot of work. I did not. That's the truth of it. Jeff, what are you up to?
I sadly could not join you up in Wilkes-Barre because I had some Josh shuttling things because my wife was still in Florida, but I did get out into the garage on was it Thursday or Wednesday that I took off?
Thursday was the beautiful
Thursday.
day.
Yeah, I'm not going to work today. Have race car. I set up the clutch. I installed it. I put the trans on the LS. I pulled the exhaust and radiator out of the RX-7. I got everything. I cleaned everything up. I dropped everything in. I had to take apart the shifter and a few other various little things. Basically, if you've never put a motor where it doesn't belong, anything that points out needs to be removed because it's way bigger and you're not sure. So you kind of put it in. Oh, look, that's sticking. Move that. Put it a little further. Oh, look, that exhaust, and move that. Oh, look, the fuel pressure regulator is now in the way. Remove that. All of these things you got to take apart. And I got the motor in and I got the motor mounts all set up. They do work. I had to take apart the RX-7 motor mounts and leave nothing but the holes in the chassis. And I was 2 bent bolts from bolting the LS in between the fenders of the RX.
Yay.
It was like and the hole was here. Like I was within an inch, and I had to pull the throttle body off the intake, so the intake was open, and it was gonna rain, and the hood is definitely not gonna fit, and the bolts, I did not have two 2-inch offset bolts, so I had to pull it all out again and put it back in the garage and come back and fight another day. So I think a little bit of massaging of the. Okay, go ahead.
Say, how does it fit in general?
Fits
And obviously
great.
The hood's not going to clear. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the hood's going to clear. We might need a little bubble, but probably less bubble than we did in the RX-7
The Z.
or in the 300Z. We
That had
may
quite the bubble.
quite the bubble. So we currently have like the dual oil cooler setup that is very popular in the RX-7 because Wankels make a lot of heat. If we don't need both of them, I think we can just like slide the radiator up a little and it will fit. No like crazy
We could probably
alternator.
get away with one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're big. The RX-7 oil coolers are very large.
Yeah. Then
They're
we'll
very
have a
popular
spare.
for other applications. Yes.
Yeah. So, it's all AN fittings, so I got to like move all that kind of stuff. But I'm not really worried about that because I could just remove it for now and get it all to fit and put it later. It's all going to fit. I have to massage the firewall a little. I think I have to remove the intake manifold because as it goes in on the angle, it's the intake manifold hitting the firewall that is keeping it from going back. But I think once it's where it needs to be, the truck manifold will fit. Not under the hood, but it will fit on the firewall.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fouling the put in procedure.
Yeah.
And like the folded like metal, where the two body panels come together that make the firewall, like that is hitting the intake manifold. So if I like bang that with hammer, pull the intake manifold, I think it'll slide right in.
And then the bolts will fit.
And then the bolts will fit. Yeah. It's just literally like they're
Yeah.
like, the
Little
holes
overlap.
are just a little, the little overlap.
Because they're shoving the engine as far back in the engine bay as it can, which is good from a weight perspective. And
Yeah,
radiator
and it is
perspective.
back there. Oh man, I am going to share the pictures. I didn't want to share the pictures because I didn't want everybody on the podcast to know how much progress I made, but I will share the pictures on our social media and the Instagram right after recording the show, so everyone
Yay.
can see the bolts. Like, if they got to go in straight and they're on an angle like this, and the shifter placement looks good. The exhaust manifolds look like they're going to be in the right place. It looks like it's going to fit pretty damn well. So very excited.
Wonderful. And clearing the steering and all that. That's because that was the
Oh,
problem.
the
with
steering
Z.
was not an issue at all. The steering is way out of the way.
good.
So yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
look for those on the Instagram when you hear the podcast.
Yay.
Mental.
I got the injectors for the Mercedes packed up, shipped off to get cleaned and checked out, so I can get that done. Went
Which
to
place are you
cars.
using for that?
I don't want to say because I'm getting the friend rate. No,
Okay. Got it.
I don't want other people going. "Well,
Okay.
Mental.
Why did I
mental-
get the friend rate?"
Mental's getting the friend rate. And he sucks. So I don't want to get my buddy in trouble. Sunday, intermingled. If you were watching our Instagram story of the hardworking, good-looking crew of Chris and Chrissy over at Garage Heroes and Trading, was just random pictures of Porsches because it was Cars und Cafe here in Las Vegas. Also had a Jim from Sorry for Party Racing and his lovely fiance were up catching a concert.
That's
To
fun.
hang out with them. And
Yeah.
I am no longer walking with crutches. I now just walk with the boot.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, very nice.
Now, if I take the boot off, I have to use crutches because I cannot put any weight on this. But yeah, so I have parked the scooter and now I just hobble around like a semi-normal person. So that's where I'm going.
Good.
And
Good.
if anyone really wants to be grossed out, I have pictures of my leg from the bandage change recently.
It
I
can't beat Bruce's X-rays.
No, well, it can and it can't
well-
because it's winter here. So my skin is, aside from the grossness of just the swelling and the stitches, My
Okay,
skin is really,
okay.
really dry.
Okay, this is gross. Let's move on. This is not everyone medical issues. Okay. Great.
Next, we're
Could
talking
be,
about his
could be.
bowel movements.
Chris, what are you working on?
We visited Garage Heroes this weekend, and we assembled a Honda D16 bottom end and cylinder head, but we did not mate the two. We swapped differentials in some transmissions and replaced the main shaft in one, which involved taking apart yet another. We were inside four transmissions or three transmissions. this
Three,
weekend.
yeah.
We've played this game before, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have.
What
think
kind
you
of
used
transmission does he? Oh, sorry, go.
Oh,
All
yeah,
the
I was gonna
same.
say used
Same.
information that we've done this before. So
Yeah.
that's yes.
They're still Honda D series transmissions. They're just later versions of it. But actually, one of them was the one that I took apart 8 times at that one particular ER race. But anyway,
Oh, hold on. And Chris was like, "Oh, you saw this before," and I was like, "Actually, I was in the
No,
car
we were
with
on the
Jeff all
road.
weekend, so I definitely didn't see this happen."
Not
Oh,
Jeff
yeah.
not sharing his M&Ms all weekend. That was
Right,
Yep.
right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
so we ended up with one good spare transmission that all looks fine inside and has a proper differential in it, made from the bits of 3 transmissions to make one good one plus some spare parts. And we have an assembled bottom end.
That chewed up fifth gear picture got so much response on our Instagram
That was,
good.
story.
that was
Oh.
reverse.
Everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Oh, it's reverse.
lots of the big eyeballs."
Uh-huh,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
reverse. Yeah,
Yeah, as
that's
soon as
why
we
I got
took it
that
out, we
transmission
said-
for free from somebody. I don't even know where I got. One of them came with a motor that I was buying, and the guy just wanted me to take the trans too. And the other one, I honestly do not know where the transmission came from. So
Eh.
yeah. Oh well.
You know what?
Anyway,
and
so
everyone
good progress
listening to
for
this
them.
goes, "Yeah, I've got parts. I have no idea where I got them."
Happens. Oh well. They're
Uh,
making progress though, so that's nice.
Yep, yep.
That's great. We hope to see them on the track soon.
Yep.
With their Hondas.
Yep.
Woo woo. News and notes time.
You may not realize, but this June is the 100th anniversary of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and we have an exclusive look at the entry list. Okay, it's not exactly exclusive. It's a link to dailysportscar.com article from Graham Goodwin, and we got that link from Eric Rude. You can get it in our show notes. So now we've got 62 cars. None of them are BMWs. 11 Porsches. 11 Porsches, 2 Caddies, a Corvette, and a previously mentioned Dangdole Camaro. In a more appropriate format, that comes down to 16 hypercars, 24 of the LMP2 entries, 21 of the GT AM series, and the Dangdole NASCAR G56 Camaro. The Garage 56 entry. The GTR cars or GTE are the ones you'd recognize. Those are the Porsches, the Astons, the Ferraris. And noteworthy, the 16 hypercars is the biggest hypercar field that they have had in their top class since 2011. And that was only 17. And we actually got some bonus commentary from 5th host Eric Rude, who you may also not know was a legitimate automotive writer before he became the Everything Bagel. So from him, things you can probably bank on. Peugeot will mysteriously be the quickest hypercar. He's implying French bias. Despite lacking any real competition for a few years, Toyota is the presumptive favorite.
Of course.
I'm going to disagree with them on that. They have not done well. The Cadillacs will put up a good fight. Yes, they will. And this is a continuously evolving version of the IMSA cars. And at least 3 different hypercars will use the same color schemes. Yes, because they're not imaginative. Now, there are also 10 cars on the entry list are going to be selected if any car from the major classes withdraws. And of note, there's a pair of names on the 812 Dragon Speed LMP car, most notably, of course, Juan Pablo Montoya and Sebastian Montoya.
Who is Sebastian Montoya?
I'm going to go with it.
Is it with like Juan Pablo's son? I don't know.
I should probably look that up. So,
That's fine.
You shouldn't have asked.
This is one of the things that's really interesting is the Glickenhaus. Now, Glickenhaus is the only manufacturer, or they're not even manufacturer. They're the only coach builder allowed to actually put Ferrari emblems on their car. That's a deal that they've worked out. And he doesn't have his driver's roster completely filled out. In fact, he's got 2 car entries and he's got 2 drivers in each entry, and then everything else is the TBA. James, buddy, friend, there are 4 perfectly capable drivers right here. We can be hired for cheap, and we even bring our own food. 3 of them you have raced against at Monticello. You remember?
I wouldn't say raced
Chrissy and
against.
Jeff? And they may have dinged your garage, but that's not the point. The point is, James, we're here for you. Give us a call.
Yeah, for those of you who might not know Lemon's history, James Glickenhaus brought out his, what was it, P3, P4? Was that the name of the car at the moment?
P45, I thought.
P45? Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Some numbers.
It's brought out
One
his
of one.
one-of-one handmade hypercar for the one-of-one race at Monticello Motorsports, whatever the hell that thing is called, club.
Yeah, we have
I
a
don't know
picture of
what
it next to the boat.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. And he brought it out and was pace car for the first lap of the Only Lemons race at Monticello. So good for you, Mr. Glickenhaus. You obviously get us, and you make your own car. So,
Yep.
anyway,
Yep.
anything else on the 24 there before I go on?
Nope.
All right, Miranda Dunlap at autonews.com has a very surprising trend. I wasn't surprised by this. Despite the pricing concerns and Elon making all kinds of social blunders, Tesla has overtaken Ford in the U.S. brand loyalty. Ford has held that claim for 12 years, based on no small part on the loyalty of F-150 owners, because they sell like 8 F-150s for any other car that's built, right? The S&P Global Mobility Survey defines loyalty as, quote, is determined when a household that owns a new vehicle returns to market and acquires another new vehicle of the same make, model, or manufacturer. The newly acquired vehicle may be either a replacement or an addition to the household fleet. Our link is to the Haggerty article because the Automotive News one is behind a paywall. GM won the overall loyalty to manufacturer award, while Subaru won the overall loyalty to dealer. For the first time, 38% of Subaru owners buy their next vehicle from the same dealer. I will tell you right now that will not be happening in the Wakeman
I was
household.
going to say, I was like, how do you fit into those percentages there?
Yeah, so we did buy a Subaru. As those of you who know, my wife has 180 or close to 190,000 miles on her 2015 Forester. She is a hyper commuter. And although she is thinking about getting another Subaru or the electric Kia EV6, she does not like the dealership. She has had difficulties with their service department. And even though we also have a potential friend hookup, we will be going to a different dealership.
I mean, how many free oil changes has she gotten from them over the years?
Right? How
But
much does she have to
that's
turn the
kind of
jersey
run
on?
out. So
Oh,
she does pay for her
That's a shame.
oil changes now.
Womp, womp.
Well, and we liked our salesperson, but she has moved on to another dealership that is no longer Subaru.
Hmm,
So we will not go back.
okay. All right.
Okay.
More on F1 in a moment. But
Whoa!
But right. But the AlphaTauri team was formerly a junior team for Red Bull. It was there where they got Max Verstappen. As they now claim to be a standalone program, they are now on the chopping block. Fred Smith at Road and Track gets us the details. Red Bull has a new sports executive, Oliver Mansalaf, maybe. He's looking to clean house, and they will either bring the team to England or sell it to one of the many operations interested in joining F1 by the way of expansion. So the Andretti's aren't out of the F1 game yet. As a result of new oversight from Red Bull, the team's relatively paltry prize money, constructor standings, and struggles of the AlphaTauri fashion brand that the team was named after to make AlphaTauri a less viable business than ever before. Meanwhile, its value as a means to get into F1 to 3 groups are separately seeking entry, have put the back marker team on the potential chopping block. The expected selling price of AlphaTauri is quoted around $700 million. Right now, the team runs third development driver Yuki Tsunoda and rookie Nick DeVries. We will be talking about them later.
So, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm a bit of a Red Bull fan.
They didn't see
Ah.
your shoes, so there's that.
I am wearing.
They don't have to see your shoes. I'm just kidding.
I am glad you upgraded to a Checo hat from a Max hat. though.
I feel like we need to make sure that everybody's clear on that.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, so in an effort to support the team, I Googled Alpha Tauri to see what their clothes look like and what they cost. Yeah, F no. That's what it is.
Not F1, it's F no.
Oh, F no.
F no.
Let me see if I could give the elevator speech for Alpha Tauri as a brand. It's like
Please.
Euro trash on the way to the club, or the soccer. No, not the soccer match. They would wear. Yeah, Euro trash on the way to the club, while I'm sucking on my French cigarettes. It was terrible, and it cost like $80,000 for a T-shirt. It's terrible. Don't. Not recommended.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Or is it the fact that nothing they make will possibly fit
An American? I don't
most
know.
Americans, right? Yeah.
This is a European size shirt right here. It's a little tight, I will admit. So tonight we are talking about Formula One, in case you haven't figured it out. Raise your hand if you've heard of the F3 Americas. Nobody's got this one, huh? Basically, it is the FIA certified Formula Series in America. If you may have heard of F3 Europe or F3 Asia or F3 all those other places, it's the Formula Regional Americas Championship powered by Honda, formerly called the F3 Americas Championship powered by Honda. It's an FIA Formula Regional Racing Series that competes in the United States with plans to race in Canada and Mexico. Winning this series will give you more FIA Super License points than winning the NASCAR Cup Series.
Oh, wow.
Right, yeah, exactly. You get 18 points. And if you want to get on the grid with Max, Charles, Lando, and Lewis, you will need those super license points. And here's how you can do it. Go to racingjunk.com. Check out the 2020 Liger JSF3. They actually have about 4 of these.
It's pretty much my
on-
favorite animal because it's a lion and a tiger, and they're bred for their magic
right.
ability.
I don't know. Ligier? I don't know. But whatever it is, Chris, you ready for this?
Yes.
K20 powered.
Okay. That means
Yeah.
I could totally drive. No.
Yeah, so it's a
What?
club race. There's not a lot on the series. I will put the Wikipedia article in and the list, but look at that sexy beast right there. It's
Those
pretty
people that
nice.
Cannot look
Looks
at it.
fancy.
What are
Yes,
you
if you're
looking
watching
at?
on YouTube or anywhere else, just go to racingjunk.com, put in Formula or F3 or LIGIER. Like I said, there's several of them. This one was the coolest looking one, so I put it up. Hey, and while you're there, why not contemplate a pro membership? All right, it's $25 for the year. If you use the code POD23, and that is half off the normal price. It's usually $50 a year. No contracts, cancel anytime. Make us look good. You get early access. You get more posts if you're selling stuff. So if you're buying stuff or selling stuff, 100% go there, pay the $25, use the code POD, POD23, no spaces. Check it out. If you're not selling anything and not buying anything, just go ahead and scroll. Check it out. There's pretty cool stuff. Racingjunk.com.
Indeed.
Yep.
Great.
Are you gonna yell?
I can do the next one.
Oh,
Oh,
well.
up. Do you want to do it?
I don't care.
Up
Oh,
to the
come here.
races!
We don't design that part of the show.
Now it's a
We do that off the
competition, Chris. They're gonna race to see who does it first.
He does it better. Okay.
Champ Car at VIR is upcoming this weekend. 42 cars, 13 BMWs,
Boring.
Boring.
16 Miatas.
Super boring.
Ooh, that's a large percentage of the field.
The number of non BMWs or Miatas is less than
The number of BMWs and Miatas.
Yep.
or Miatas, and only 42 cars at VIR. Wow.
That's if you wanted space, that's the race to be in. One
Seriously.
Honda, one Porsche, and 86 Golf. I'm sure that won't be running for more than like the first hour or two. So, an 85 Camaro Z28 and an 85 Trans Am Praise the Dairy Queen Burnout Smoke them if you got them. You know what you need to do. Acid wash jeans. Dawkins on the stereo.
Wow, this went so far.
Oh boy,
I did not write all that.
that's fine.
They can argue which parking lot is better for a burnout, Dairy Queen or Circle K.
Totally
Dairy Queen. Who are you? What are you talking about?
God, what are you,
Okay.
a Chinese plant? Of course it's a Dairy Queen.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Circle K
Anyway.
is where you sit on the curb and drink beer after you get kicked out of the Dairy Queen for doing a burnout.
Got it.
They're from he's from New England. What does he know?
The best car I ever had at burnouts was an AMG Mercedes. So
That was like not long ago.
That is actually the
Not
best
when he
car
was
I've
from
ever
New
had
England.
for burnouts. Yes, that is a remarkably effective vehicle.
Shall we move on to recent results?
Yeah, we don't really know it.
We don't know what happened.
I was gonna say. I was
We,
like,
we
you
know
what it is?
that we know that Big Sexy, aka Darren, the crew from the Squirt and Coronas, had some mechanical issues, so he won't be getting a fourth watch.
Yes, I believe I bet anyone in the pod $10 against the entire field. You all could have gotten $10 from me
Right?
due to mechanical. Sorry, Big Sexy. I didn't mean to like curse you
Jinx it?
by saying jinx you by
The
putting money
commentator's
on
curse.
you. Commentator's curse.
Oh no!
I'm going to say this though, and this is in support of the Lucky Dog event, because look, run your races, have your fun, do your thing. But even broken down, Darren made it a point to point out just how much fun they had just being down there. You know, if you haven't done a Lucky Dog race, if you're a 1 series person, cool. But if you've ever been by series curious, Lucky Dog is a great way to kind of expand your feel.
Yep.
I'm
They'll
searching
take it
right
slow.
now to see if I can find any results whatsoever. We have no idea who won.
Yeah.
We know
Just moving
nothing.
on. Just moving on.
Just moving on. All right.
Listen up, feedback time.
I feel like I have the opening to each one. In response to our dumb ideas, last week was the Dumb Ideas podcast on YouTube. Tim B said, "Normally I skip the intros on podcasts, but yours never disappoints. Please don't ever get it corrected."
Oh, this is.
We
so
did
good.
cake today, didn't we?
It disappoints the three of
I
us every week.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie said I haven't seen this in a while, and I agree. It's the best part. I'm glad it's back in Jackie formats.
Michael K, our good friend Michael K, he always comments. This is great. The dumbest idea that is currently queued up to be our third build from now. Quote, 2 are already purchased and in my backyard. Turn my 1999 Volvo V70 into a rear engine front drive race car.
That's a terrible idea.
There's
Okay,
no fail
okay.
on that plan.
Right?
There
No
is,
fail.
well, here's the thing is from anyone else, you jokingly say there is no fail on that plan, but that one, I feel like if there is fail, you want to be there to see it.
Yeah. That'd be great. Randy Beast looks at the Fajita ST in his garage and says, I'm in danger. Make it a fist.
Yeah, that's right. Carlton talked about the Kodazeg. I don't know how to pronounce that word.
That's your right.
Yeah, that's close, right? Transmission, and noted my year and a half construction project to build the garage has put our Volvo red block swapped RX-8 on hold. Potentially it might race this year. It does not run, but that doesn't mean anything. It
Like I
needs
said-
a lot.
He says it does run.
Oh, it does
That's a
run.
big difference.
Sorry.
I don't.
It does
mess up
run.
one word.
But that doesn't mean anything. It needs a lot. A red block. I don't know if I would put a red block in an RX-8.
Well,
Yeah,
doesn't-
that's good luck
no,
with the
that's
one
a-
in their 240. So
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess.
That is that's what Burt Run runs.
turbo red block, right? Do you turbo a red block?
you can.
If you want to shorten its lifespan, but
Oh,
Yeah,
Bert
those-
did pretty
those-
well.
No, Burt turbos it.
okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
They
have-
those are just solid engines.
They have PVC plumbing holding that thing together too.
Okay. On our Slack channel, the War Burglar said, "I'm with Mentum. Monkey's throw poo would have been brilliant."
In response to our dumb ideas on the book face, Chris Strangwork said, "Hey, I remember a team called Fling Poo Racing." PU that might have been a GRM challenge. Also, a choreographed thriller zombie dance scene would burn the whole place down.
Fact. Yep. Wally P. Judging by how many times I was mentioned in the show about bad ideas, I'd say we're doing this correctly. And you are absolutely right. You are
Yep.
doing it correctly.
Yes,
And
yes.
He offered up in case you need some more dumb ideas. And this is coming from a team that has done some really great dumb ideas. Here's a collection from our vault that we'll never get to. Soylent Green Day. Anyone under
That's
the
amazing.
age of 40, look it up. It's pretty funny.
Yes.
And it will go over very well with the judges.
do that.
I'm going to mispronounce this and Chris will correct me, but it's always Hatsune in Philadelphia.
I don't know what language that is, but okay.
I believe it is it's a Jing or what is it, the comic, Japanese comic reference.
Oh,
Hatsune.
manga.
Hatsune.
Hatsune,
Okay, got it.
yes.
Hatsune. It's always Hatsune in Philadelphia, which done correctly actually would probably go very well. And this one, I love
Googling
this one.
Hatsune.
Fiddler on the Rood.
100%. Randy Bish, please. Fiddler on the Rood.
And Lawn Chair Larry, which it's funny he mentions that. That was actually when I was an instructor at NORAD, a block of instruction about what to do when someone straps a lawn chair to a bunch of weather balloons and floats into controlled airspace. So yeah.
Hatsune is Hatsune Miku, the leak spin girl.
I
So,
know her.
We know her. We just had no idea what her name was.
I just called her. the
Okay.
Jeff does the
Spin
least
girl.
sexy striptease ever.
Oh, you were excited, but you were drunk. So what do you know?
Yeah.
And so tired, like
Uh-huh.
so tired.
Both.
Okay. Joseph K says, since we are Breaking Bad racing and there's an Aztec or something on the show, never seen a single episode. Come on. What? Pontiac Aztec, or excuse me, Aztec. Whew, with a Saab 2.8 T 6-speed. The Aztec Rendezvous came with the high feature 3.6 that the Saab 2.8 was based on. So in theory, you could fit it all in with minor mount tweaking. All-wheel drive would be possible if you found a unicorn manual all-wheel drive Saab. I may be watching wrecked Aztec auctions on someplace.
IAAI. It's a site to get
Crush cars.
wrecked. Yeah, crash cars. I
I think it's a terrible idea. Leave the high feature.
No. From Breaking Bad, everyone else would fail at this. They would actually make it work. And anytime you do an ill-advised swap to a Swedish engine, you're going into Class C.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Cool.
I mean, don't the winningest Saabs in Lemon's history all run like Nissan 300Z motors?
That's the other way
No.
around.
The winningest Nissan runs a Saab motor. Yes.
Oh, okay.
exactly.
Oh, well. Dana H said, I have several terrible ideas. A Mountaineer 5-liter all-wheel drive 5-speed swap. Yes. An Olds Bravada V8 LS swap and an NV 3500. I'm going to say no on that one. I'm not a fan of the NV 3500.
It
But
wasn't
whatever.
Well, as long as you don't use fifth gear. Fifth gear does not exist. There is
Yeah,
no
but
fifth gear.
we were losing them on the 4.3 liter. I think
Yeah.
I think the
But
LS would blow it apart.
The Bravada was a brilliant concept.
Oh, absolutely. I just say put a frickin' T5 in it. Dodge Intrepid, with a rear-wheel drive swap and a carbed Mopar V8 manual instead of Hellcat. It's the House Cat.
Maybe the scrappy
Dude.
R Fuji's could find you
Hey.
The Intrepid.
an Intrepid.
Dodge
Dodge
Intrepid.
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 Oh boy. Read your copy ahead, folks.
The Dodge Entropy. That would be an entirely different kind of car. Oh well. Cameron L said, "Hey, do the monkey theme with these costumes and music. It's Bloodhound Gang's Bad Touch."
Yes.
And in case you're wondering what that's the "You and Me, Baby Ain't Nothing But Mammals." You've all heard it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was and I actually ended up watching that video like 3 times because thank you, Cam.
Yeah.
You know who's never seen
Nice
that
flashback.
video?
Oh, probably not.
That's probably okay.
That's probably okay.
Yeah, you know
Chrissy's
who
mom.
never needs to see that video. Yeah.
Yep.
So true. Okay.
Chrissy's mom. We didn't say hi, Chrissy's mom.
Did, but okay.
Literally
Okay.
just came out of his mouth
Missed it. Clipped
Being copied.
something.
Nobody listens to me.
because he was reading copy.
Yep.
Go ahead,
Now
Chrissy. Now I'm in it.
Now it's main topic time.
Who's doing the intro?
Oh, I love you know what? That's the new standard, is just by the time we get to main topic, Chrissy's just so exhausted. Now it's main topic time.
It's
No, I
goddamn
just
main
said
topic
it like
time.
7 times, and I opened my mouth and I tried to yell, and all y'all keep talking about things.
Fine.
Okay, it's main topic time.
There we go.
Today's main topic. I think we previewed it last week, and if we didn't, we were talking about it after the show. We're very excited that it's F1 time. So excited. Okay, so if you're not watching the show or watching it on YouTube, we all have F1 clothes on, which is so much fun. Some of us more than others, and so we're very
Jeff, do you
excited.
have Red Bull underwear on?
Do not own Red
Oh.
Bull underwear.
Oh,
Gross.
disappointed.
I
find it too restrictive.
It would be, because it would be European sizes. It would squish your nuts.
Okay. Anyway, we are going. So there was preseason testing last week, and did anybody get to watch it?
No.
Nope.
Despite literally, I was looking because when YouTube TV became a thing,
Yep.
you actually got into the ESPN. You got to see the Formula One stuff,
Yep.
and I was it's very
ESPN didn't cover it. That was the
No,
problem.
We
Yeah.
couldn't find it anywhere. We had the same problem, and then we were traveling as you know, so we weren't close to anything. I wasn't really watching the internet as much, which is unfortunate. So preseason testing happened, and there was a lot of it. I think I saw some things on YouTube that showed that there was actually commentary, which would have been nice to be able to see. I was already ready to play F1 testing bingo, and we couldn't watch it. It sounded like nobody could watch it. So
Well, you could. There was just behind a paywall.
sure,
Yeah.
yes, which we talked about doing. We just didn't want to get the big one and commit to a lot of money to just hope that we could watch this and some other stuff. So we didn't commit. Anything else on before we get started on the topic?
I just want to mention that the person on our team who works for the giant conglomerate of evil American cable companies, I won't say his name, is attempting to get us a couple of logins for Sky Sports because they are the same company. And then we will have, when they say, touch the blah, blah button for your Sky Glass coverage.
The red button on your remote. Right?
Okay.
Follow drivers, alternate audio tracks, everything. Just saying.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna do predictions. We're gonna
Well,
do some opinions.
These
We're
just
gonna
ideas.
talk about things that we don't know, but we're gonna put ourselves out on a limb a little bit, right?
Yes. Last year we did this. I'm pretty sure. I know that I didn't do very well.
No, it's
There's
fine.
that. Also, we're gonna talk about fantasy. So, we'll pimp it later, and I'll give you all the information. But we're doing a fantasy league. Join us.
Please.
Yeah, it'd be fun. You can play for free, no problem. If you want to give the people that run this, which is a pretty good platform, different than last year, then you can pay a couple bucks to help them get ad-free kind of stuff. But
Fantasy
Anyway.
GP, it's like £9 for the upgraded whatever. I don't know what the hell you get for the £9, but whatever.
pretty much.
Yeah. What do
you
we
can also
want?
play for free. if
You can
want.
play for free. Absolutely. You can play for free.
I said that.
Just want to make sure it's clear.
Yeah, yes.
Sorry.
Free, play for free. Join us. You will have a code. It's in the things. What do we want to start with? Do we want to get the crap out of the way?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here's the crap. Raise your hand if you think this is going to be a boring runaway season with one team dominating.
At the top, yes, but I think there's going to
At
be
the top,
all kinds of
yes,
interesting things going on in the middle-ish.
I think we have a 2017, 2018-ish runaway for the championship. We'll just say it. I don't think anyone is going to be able to touch the Red Bulls. I think Max is going to run away with it. As a Red Bull fan, I am not excited by this. I will be bored. I want to see people fighting at the front. I hope we get some fights.
Yes. I think I'm hesitant because I think it's true, and I think I think it's true. I think it's going to happen, but maybe it won't. Maybe some people will come back. Maybe we'll have some other people on the podium that are close, and that
That'd
will
be great.
fun.
I would love it. Love it. All right, so let's go to some other big picks, some other winning picks. What do we think is going to happen now that that's out of the way? Chrissy, you want to throw anything out there? What do you think other than Max is probably going to win?
I am maybe blissfully hopeful that Ferrari is going to be great. We're just moving through. I don't mean to bounce back, but we're just working through Drive to Survive that just came out.
Me too.
So we are not quite binging. So that means that my brain is going to be full of, is this past or present? Did this happen this year? What happened this year? Wait, who's winning? Oh, that person.
Why
got
are we at
podium?
Silverstone again? It's
Right,
like,
seriously.
yeah,
Oh wait,
yeah.
we're back, and we just watched the Miami episode anyway. And we're now recall that Ferrari was great for the first couple races, so I am hopeful that they're going to be back in action and they're going to be great. That's my additional pick of. I probably am wrong, but I'm going to say they're pretty darn good.
I am going to throw something out there that other than Max will dominate. I think this is Russell's year. I think Russell is going to come out and he is going to really not, last year you could say it was the car and it was a fluke. I am very impressed with Russell. I think he will beat Lewis wherever Mercedes ends up in the grid. I think Russell has more points. Not that Lewis is not the GOAT of all time. I absolutely 100% agree with that. I just don't know if this car is going to be drivable. And I think Lewis does not have the ability to drive a bad car as well as Russell does.
Oh, and I would argue with Lewis's reputation, he's not as threatened by his number two beating him. So there will not be team orders and this kind of stuff. And Lewis will be like, "No, man, go win. And I think he's done a really good job of mentoring Russell. And I think that's probably one of the reasons Russell stuck around after the last season with a terrible car.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have much choices.
Right. You're just saying that he's going to stick around in Mercedes?
I'm saying the reason he stayed with Mercedes with, a car that they couldn't figure out is he knows he is getting graduate level mentorship from Lewis and from Toto Wolff.
There's a lot worse cars out there. I mean, being in a bad Mercedes car is not a bad. The amount of money and people that can put time.
Where was he in the driver's standing? Like fourth?
Yeah.
Fourth, right?
There's only one and a half cars that are the only 1.5 cars to better to be in.
Yeah. No,
I think Mercedes is still a great team who had a bad year. I'm worried after watching what I saw in testing that it is going to continue and they haven't figured out their design yet.
Oh, absolutely. They didn't come up with it's not a new car. It's the same car.
Yeah.
Every year they're always slow in testing compared to everybody else. Every year, even back 5 years ago, they were always like, "Oh, Red Bull's going to beat us this year," and then look what happened. So, I don't know. That'll hold too much weight in the testing, but I know they definitely have work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Anyone else want to throw out any other big picks out there? These are, by the way, the top picks.
Yeah. Ferrari is going to be feast or famine because occasionally they're going to pull a good one out, but I think it's a new principle. They had so many problems last year. He can't fix it that fast. Even if he was that great, Alfa Romeo would have done a little bit better with Sauber. So I think this is going to be more of a rebuilding year for Ferrari, but occasionally we're going to see some flashes of brilliance when they don't explode or do things terribly.
I think, go ahead, Bethel.
I was going to say, I'm not a Ferrari fan on the level of everybody else, but if you care about Formula One, you kind of always want Ferrari to do well. And I will be happy if they don't do well, as long as they just don't step on their crank.
It was bad.
I think this year it'll be, I don't think you're going to see the same level of just epically stupid decisions that you saw last year.
Yeah. I think their driving lineup is excellent. I think both, Charles is in other cars would be dominant. You know, like if they just didn't screw up so much, he would have been in the hunt for the lead. If they didn't have to turn down their motors last year to make them survive, he would have been in the hunt to win. And Carlos is great too. So
if they could find their ass sometimes from a hole in the ground, like, show where did I put my keys? Question.
Except it was so frustrating because the episode we just watched at the beginning of last year, they didn't even ask. They were like, pit. No,
don't pit.
No, don't pit.
Pit, don't
and
pit.
he's just like,
yeah.
I have to say that the fun, that is hopefully a fun battle that's coming, because Charles and Max have been racing since they were 5. So they know how to race. No, I'm serious. They've been racing
absolutely.
As they started racing. No, Mental was laughing at me.
So no. I was not going to belch into the microphone while you're making
I thought you were laughing. I was like, that's true. So they've been racing forever. So I feel like they have a level of not trust, but they
absolutely do.
So they don't mind getting very close to each other because they know what they're going to do to each other.
Charles and Max go wheel hub to wheel hub, and nobody flinches. And nobody tries to whip their yank out and say, my crank is bigger than yours, get out of my way. They don't put, like, the way that Max drives Charles is 180 degrees from the way he drives Hamilton.
Sure. Yes.
Period.
And Charles knows exactly how to piss Max off.
And Max and Charles is better racing. Max and Lewis might be more exciting to watch because they can crash at any second and literally get out of the car and punch each other in the head.
I feel like it's vicious. Like,
yeah, it absolutely is.
What it absolutely is.
And it's both of them. I know you Hamilton fans might not be willing to admit that, but he is not clean when he races Max either. Not that Max deserves it.
100% totally does.
Yeah.
All right, Mental, you got anything? Oh, go ahead, Chris. You got something else?
My last topic. I think Aston Martin will be the best of the midfield this year. There's a pick.
I had that later in my notes. I'm with you.
Yep.
Mental, do you want to throw anything in this category or?
No. I'm
we got
commenting as you guys go. So yeah. So lead into your next point, which backs up Chris's point.
Yeah, I mean, surprise of the season is our next prompt. And I put Alpha Martin will be in the hunt for the best of the rest. Hear me now, believe me later. Alonso is going to be on the podium frequently. Stroll will be in the points frequently. I'm saying even maybe mid-pack no more. Daddy Stroll and does he or does he not belong son are going to be in the hunt for the best of the rest. 4th, somewhere in 5th, maybe.
So you said Aston Martin. You said Alpha Martin. So
I said Aston Martin, did I? I'm sorry, I meant.
I don't think you did, but that's okay.
I said Alonso. I don't think I said Aston. Aston.
Okay.
Right.
The dark green one, the sexy one.
Okay.
Chrissy, what do you want to say?
I was impressed. So I didn't watch testing, but I was watching the fastest laps, and Alpha, I think, might have some surprises because Alpha was sitting at the top for a while. Zhou was at the top for a while, and then Bottas was, I think, in 3rd on one of the days or one of the sessions.
Did Zhou had the fastest lap on one of the days, didn't he?
Right. Yes, he did. So that's
finished,
why I think Alpha might be one that we're not, mid-pack. We're not
sleeping on.
Right. He's not gonna be in top 3.
Surprisingly good for Alpha.
That's what I'm saying. Right. They might be a little bit higher up in that mid-pack than we're talking about. And I think both of them, I don't know what kind of car changes they've had to the car this year. I wasn't keeping that close of a track to it, but they've both driven with each other, both seem like nice, patient people. So I think they might be surprised. And then I just have this thing. I'm like, maybe Gasly will have a comeback, because I think somewhere down there he's a potentially good driver. I think I did fake money, not even money. I put some effort behind him. Like I put money behind him with no money. And I was dismal. He just did like so poorly last year. So I don't know, just maybe.
I want to see Gasly and Ocon have a baguette fight.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. People are saying that Gasly and Ocon are not going to get along because they haven't gotten along in the past, but they've also never been teammates in the past.
Isn't that worse?
Yeah, but
So-
this is Formula One teammates. This isn't NASCAR.
I understand.
I don't think you do.
Baguettes and berets. Slap
Yes.
fight.
Yes. I honestly, I mean, Magnussen and Hulkenberg have been teammates and have said "suck my balls" to each other. I mean, I think when we look at pairings that might go wrong, we're probably way worse
Hey,
there.
those guys are both happy to have a seat right now.
You're not wrong.
Like a lot. Yeah.
But they have a seat on the only Formula One team where the drivers are the least popular. The most popular person on the Haas team is their principal.
Gunther is
Yeah.
the best.
Everybody loves Gunther.
Yeah, also they're very, I'm gonna get it wrong. I mean, there's a whole lot of blonde hair, blue eyes happening on that team.
It's a bit Nordic. You're
Very
not wrong.
Nordic. Yeah, very, very Nordic. Very if we're gonna if we can categorize into one, if we can generalize into one, one.
Well,
one
it's like the
group.
Nordics, and then Alpine are like the smelly French.
Sure,
And then Mercedes is two Brits.
Sure. Okay. Let's just generalize. That's
Right.
good. Yeah.
I don't think any other team has country mates, do they? No, I don't think so.
Okay. After
Yep.
that.
I
Right.
was saying, I didn't
Go
know.
ahead,
So,
Metzler, do your
well,
Go
surprise.
on, mental surprise.
all right, I'm gonna your Jeff, your assessment about Alpha being in the hunt for the best of the rest.
Aston.
It's both true.
Aston.
Right.
Jeff has
You
you
said
said
Alpha.
Alpha.
You said Alpha.
Yeah, sorry. I keep going.
There's two different colors.
Jeff, you're making me do it now. All right,
Sorry.
it's true and it's false. Okay, it's Alonso.
Mhm.
You give that guy you give him the Lemons Civic, and he'll make a run at the podium that people didn't see coming. He has also made it abundantly clear in word and deed that he is not interested in mentoring or helping
No,
Stroll.
Not at all. Not
And
at
I
all.
think that is finally going to expose Stroll as a hack.
Yeah, I think you're
Yes,
right.
The
Mhm.
guy could absolutely outdrive me on my best day. I understand that, but he is there because daddy's writing a check. He's not there based on talent. And I think Alonso is the guy that's going to highlight that. And eventually, dad's either going to have to fire Alonso because Alonso won't care. And he's already said some things that like, oh, damn, you couldn't do that if you were anybody else. And he's known for that kind of stuff. And that's what makes him popular. So any good things that happen to Alpha will be 100% on Alonso and Stroll.
Aston.
I think Stroll is going to be further.
Make it stop.
He's going to be further alienated.
Yes.
Because he's not going to coach him. He's not going to mentor him. He's not going to help him.
Nope.
And he'll mock him when he gets it wrong.
Yeah, and Seb was too nice to call him out. And Seb was trying to help him because
Seb's that
has coaching background. He's the reason Schumacher was on the field. Well, okay, his last name too, but
here's but Alonso has none of those.
Alonso's going to be like, no.
Alonso doesn't care. And Alonso, he'll walk away mid-season if you look at him sideways, and he won't care. So I think you're going to, there'll be no more excuses after this for this one. I'm going to say also, I do believe that Haas is getting it together. And I think Haas is going to surprise people a couple times this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him on a podium.
I think the midfield, mid pack.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to suck. And that's an improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chris?
My surprise for the year is that I think McLaren is going to totally stink up the joint. Like right above Williams and maybe Haas.
100%.
Which is, like they 2 years ago, especially, like they've seemed like they were getting it together. They've came in fourth, like that. All right, they're picking it back up. Last year, a little rougher. I think this year they are just not gonna have it what it takes.
This is why you drop Norris like he's hot.
I did. I initially on my fantasy GP, I picked up Norris. I'm like, well, Lando's usually an all right, like for the money. And no, I changed my mind.
And
Lando is
all right
great.
for them.
Lando's
Lando
great.
is, yeah. But that team is imploding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to this. I'm going to have more comments later in another prompt. So, but yeah, I 100% agree. All right. One of you Mercophobes ask the next one, or Mercophiles.
Is Mercedes going to have a comeback? No. It's going to break my heart. They're just going to get their teeth kicked in all season. And, you know, my only hope is that they do as good as they can. And then I will wear my Mercedes gear and cheer for my boy Checo.
I think they're going to close the gap, but they're not going to dominate. And I think Lewis is going to show the difference of his experience and temperament when it matters.
So you have Lewis over as the better
George.
pair
I
over
do.
George Russell.
I think it will take the whole season to do, because I think initially they're going to give Lewis the experimental things to try to figure out. Some of them are going to work, some of them are not. But I think that you cannot doubt you can put him in almost anything and he's going to do okay.
I want to know what's a comeback, because they were second in the constructors last year. They ended up beating out Ferrari, right? Or they were third.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They came third.
Third. So they ended up beating out McLaren at the end. So
Alpine,
Ferrari?
but okay.
Alpine was third. Okay, I thought
Alpine was fourth. It went Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, Alpine.
Okay. So that's what I want to know. If we're saying, are they going to be in the top three?
I think they could be a more competitive third, or maybe
You don't think
two.
in the top three?
I don't know. I don't. I'm not sure. Will they suck? No, I don't think that's. Will they be a legitimate challenge for constructors? No, I don't think they're gonna be battling Ferrari. And
No, they'll be a wild card when on tracks when they've given Lewis something experimental.
I know. I just
and
don't
then
think
they've
Ferrari's going to
implemented it, and
keep it together. Like if
Yeah,
Ferrari keeps being Ferrari, and if Mercedes keeps being reliable and fast enough, that gets you a whole lot of seconds to
Consistent.
fourths.
Yeah. I think we're saying the same thing about Mercedes, Chris. I just think Ferrari's going to be okay, and you don't.
Okay.
I'm with Chris on this one,
Yeah.
because
I'll buy it.
Ferrari is always volatile and make the Italian German jokes, but really what it comes down to is Toto is a finance guy. He's always been a finance guy, and he understands long-term consistent performance, and he will always focus on that. And that will always put Mercedes as a contender. And I think that will overcome Ferrari's enthusiasm, but I don't think they're going to be, I don't think they'll be top three for the year.
Don't you think there's some positive on this, that they didn't change a whole lot from their car last year? I mean, sometimes not making a whole lot of changes makes it so that you are still refining what you have, and it may not. I'm not saying I agree with all of you. I'm just saying they didn't make a lot of changes.
They've acknowledged quite publicly that the car had a fundamental flaw last year, like that it was definitely flawed in more than one way, and they had to fix it.
Right.
So they have to make some changes at least. Yes, they still have the small pods, but I think it's the stuff that you don't see quite as obviously that was the issues.
Yeah. For those who haven't read everything about testing, basically everybody's car showed up and it looked like Red Bull's last year. Red Bull's looked like it had changed since last year's, and Mercedes looked like Mercedes from last year. So everyone was was ditching their different ideas to look like the Red Bull. Red Bull made some improvements, which scares everyone, and Mercedes stuck to their very drastic, much less side pod, much skinnier in the hips, less Coke bottle-y design.
Chrissy, I think you're 100% right. I think, that's just how Toto's always done things. He is not a revolutionary. He's an evolutionist.
Yeah.
And we're saying the same things. I think we're come up with slightly but the fact that they don't change their car and they don't make a lot of radical stuff is just why always Mercedes is just, you never count them out. They're just always
I think
there.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I also have to laugh that you said doesn't look like Mercedes made a whole lot of changes yet. One of a very few videos that I saw from testing was when George broke down red flag. He hurried up to go cover up his car. Like somebody like ran out and gave him a cover so he could cover it up. I just think it's funny that in this stage,
it's not that they didn't make no changes. They didn't abandon the design philosophy that they brought in, which was very different from every other car on the field last year and still is this year.
I just thought it was funny when he covers up his car and they're all like, oh no, cover it up.
in your testing bingo, one of them was all the mechanics stand in a wall to block the cameras from the car. So yes, that happens.
That's the thing. All right.
I'm sorry. And I want to go back. Chris, I'm processing the Lewis will show is different because Lewis has got his record. Lewis is, last year he was really, for a guy that was not winning as much as he was used to, I thought he handled himself very professionally. And
absolutely did. Yep.
You're absolutely right. And I think he's just got to the point where, I don't care. I'm doing this because I like the team. I like what I'm doing. And he's going to just focus on being
I think he's seen it as a different kind of challenge than he's got in the past.
He was that way when the porpoising stopped hurting him. When the porpoising was hurting him, he was critical of his team. I don't want to say he wasn't professional because he's always been professional.
As a guy that's been walking around in pain for 2 weeks,
yeah.
You're going to be a little irritated.
Yeah.
You've just been beat up for 90 minutes.
I don't think the F1 Twitter was wrong in saying he might retire. If the car continued to beat him up, I think he would have retired.
That was my prediction for last year, and I was wrong, so I'm not saying
Toto changed a lot of what he was saying publicly to talk about how crappy the car was and apologized publicly on the radio frequently to Lewis for giving him a crappy car. And I think that saved the relationship. Anyway, let's talk rookies.
Let's.
Piastri. Do we know how to pronounce that correctly? Am I saying that right?
I think that's how it is. Yes.
Logan and DeVries. What's anybody got to say? Anybody excited for an American?
Yeah, I'm excited for an American.
It's cool.
It's great. It's a shame he's going to be a back marker all season.
Yeah.
And
nobody knows who he is. And so you're trying to rev up the American fan base by, hey, here's this kid who should really still be in F2, but he's here and no one knows his name. No one knows who he is.
Well, it is a shame he's going to be a back marker. He's got talent.
Oh, no doubt.
He's he's not going to get to show any of it this year.
So
and he's going to need some PR
back,
people. Like he needs to hire whoever Danica had for PR or something and just like do something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not that sexy. Where was Danica traded on her sex appeal? I mean, I think that's the way the marketers did. I don't think that would fly these days.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sure.
Question. Before George Russell was in the Mercedes, what car was he in?
Williams.
How did they know?
Because he was a Mercedes signed driver for years and they tried a bunch of things. And remember that time Lewis got COVID and they shoved George in his car?
I'm just saying. That's great. I'm just saying, just because you're in a terrible car doesn't mean you can't show your talent. He will be at the back. 100%. This is what I say. The driver, the rookie with the least amount of hype will be on top of the points. Nick DeVries. He already has points in Formula One when he was a reserve driver. The Williams is going to suck donkey. So they're going to score absolutely nothing. And I don't think the McLaren is that far behind. So they may end up in the bottom third because I think Alfa Tauri, Alfa Romeo, and the Haas are all going to beat potentially McLaren.
Well, and you're writing off DeVries because he's a rookie. He has got the resume.
I think he's going to be good.
Championships. They put him in bad cars. He's made bad cars do good things. He's got the resume. He's got the right approach. I don't think this time next year he'll be with
AlphaTauri. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, AlphaTauri.
I don't think I think he's going to show his value and he'll get snatched up by a higher up team.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
agree.
writing DeVries off at all.
No.
I think he's going to show the other two up.
Yep, 100%.
He's 28. He's a lot older than the other one, so he has a lot
He
more.
looks like he's 12, but yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was 28.
Yeah, a lot more experience. And the fact, look how well he did at Williams last year. He showed up Albon in a car he never driven before.
Well,
okay.
But I was also going to add that to Williams. So Albon did pretty well in some of the races. I mean, he qualied in. He was in Q1 at the bottom of Q1 sometimes. So he never ended very well, and obviously never got even close to a podium. But when you're looking at back markers, you're looking at sometimes of how well you can do with a terrible car.
Yeah, I just think Williams has gone backwards this year too. Unfortunately,
Well,
they have no team principal really. They have like nobody works there. It's like Larry, the
give
janitor.
us a call, Williams. We can.
Yeah.
We're cheap. We'll get you some hype.
And what are we gonna do? We're like,
we will get them in the news. That's what we'll.
I don't want to like. Again, Mental said it best. All of these people drive 1,000 times better than me, and for me to suggest someone is not good or doesn't deserve their spot is just crazy.
It's all relative.
Albon deserves a better seat than Williams.
Yes.
Logan Sargent is lucky to be in F1.
Sure.
If he was an American, if other people had enough super license points, it wouldn't have been his seat.
I would say also though, like again, if we took over management of Williams, you were vastly underestimating what your mom's cookies could do. Just and here we are. It's the final laps of the Bahrainian Grand Prix. There, Albon is coming around, and he's definitely getting a signal from the team manager, Chrissy. Chrissy is holding a box of Tupperwares. Yes, it's the peanut butter bars. And there, Albon has just knocked 2 seconds off of his best lap. He's now accelerating forward. He's moved into 3rd place. I think we could totally do that.
You're funny.
Except they could eat 2.
Yeah. I wonder what the caloric intake of a Formula One driver is.
Probably like something.
Probably like a lot, right?
Yeah. Who's the swimmer? The tall guy everybody likes because he's funny.
The smokes pot. What is his name?
Yes.
Phelps.
By the way,
Phelps. Thank you.
Yeah,
Phelps.
Yeah, like the Michael Phelps diet of 7,000 calories a day.
Yeah, could be. All right. Anyone else have anything to say about the rookies before we move on?
Nope.
All right. Who is under the most pressure? I have a bit of a diatribe, so I'll go near the end.
No, go first.
Go first?
Yes.
All right, here it is. Frederick, whatever you say, Vasseur is French. He is under the most pressure. Here's why. The Ferrari is supposed to win and challenge for the Constructor Championship now. They all said the problem was Binotto. So, okay, Friedrich, you're up. But I think I don't know if there's a Mental or Chris, the problems inside Ferrari are bigger than just the principal. He's not going to be able to fix it. He's not going to be able to fix it all. If they step back any bit at all, the Tifosi will call for his head because A, he's French, B, he's French, C, he's smelly and French, and D, he did not bring home the championship.
And he's not Italian.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he's not Italian, that too.
No mustache.
No.
Boppity boopity.
Yeah. I think Binotto got away with a lot because he was from the system. He was an engineer with them for years and years and years. He had built up a ton of cred, and he stepped on his wiener like he was in a marching band, and they forgave a lot of it until they fired him. Frederick does not get that. He's under pressure if he does not perform immediately.
Yep. Good. I agree.
Yep.
I'll throw a different one out there. Alonso. This is his last chance to be competitive after he has lost the lottery of the career roulette wheel that he spun several times, and he keeps it keeps coming up the wrong color when he spins that roulette wheel. Oh, let's go. Oh, we're gonna go from Renault where I won 2 championships. We're gonna go to McLaren where they got this new partnership with
Oh,
Honda.
that would be great.
No,
No.
that didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
Let me go back to McLaren. Nope. All right.
No.
Aston Martin. They've got a new owner. Nope. Didn't. They hadn't had the time yet. Nope. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
No.
You just did.
Why did Aston Martin not hire Danny Rick?
I don't think he's as good. They could, because they could get Alonso. And who would you pick?
Danny Rick.
No, Alonso comes. Racing is not about winning. Racing is about money, and money is eyeballs. And Alonso brings eyeballs.
Oh, Danny Rick brings a lot.
Danny
He's-
Rick
he's
brings
a
a
he's
lot.
celebrity.
Yeah.
He is larger than
the celebrity, and he's also the North American celebrity. He's the one that's in Texas waving the flag and riding a steer and all that other crap.
He's the-
And
he and-
all
he
of
and-
that happened after he lost his seat.
You're not wrong.
And he could go back to being
Himself.
Ricardo.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when Ricardo, when he is
When he was
shown-
losing at McLaren, he was
Yes. When he is under the gun, he is not shown the grace of Lewis Hamilton or any of the other racers. And he is proven to be a liability, and he begins to whine. Now that he's free of this, he is entertaining and he's fun. And that's why he's back in the world as a consultant. But yes, this is the absolute pinnacle, and the rules are stupid, but he knew those rules, and he lost sight of what made him Ricardo. Had he maintained that same kind of jovial attitude while he was under, he probably would have gotten hired again. But you can't do that. And unfortunately, that's kind of a one-way trip.
very astute mental. 2 points for you for the rest of the night, because you're right. When he was doing terrible, he was a beaten man, and it showed.
Contrast that with Leclerc, who Ferrari's like, we're just gonna screw you because we're stupid, and he's just like he had that one outburst of
And Bonotto went like this. He stuck his finger in his face, and he went, "Yes, sir."
and everyone still likes Leclerc.
Mhm.
In fact, everyone recognizes Leclerc got screwed.
Mhm.
So yeah. Chris, you're right. Chrissy, you had one, because I have a very unpopular opinion on this one.
Oh, I can't wait. Go ahead, Chrissy.
I don't. Sonoda, because he's got to do something, because he's gone too long to be new to F1, and you weren't working out as much, and Sonoda, you're like, nope, better shut up or get out. Yes.
And I'm with you, because it's him and the other person you're about to talk about.
Yeah.
They're in there for the same reason. Daddy wrote.
Well,
a
we
check.
just talked about Stroll Stroll better
And-
do
yeah.
something or he's out.
So,
And he-
Sonoda brings a lot of money. Stroll brings all the money.
Yeah, Stroll is going to have a job until he decides he's not going to do it anymore, because Daddy bought a Formula One team and a car company to do this.
And a
But
track.
I wonder how much a world-class venture capitalist who understands profit, how long he's going to subsidize this before he goes, it'd be great having a winning team.
You know what? It doesn't matter, because they're still making money.
I just,
Yeah.
hell, you want to make Aston Martin suddenly the buzz of everyone? Fire your son, hire Daniel Ricciardo as the number 2 driver. But
Mm,
What
I-
if
go ahead.
they continue to come in poorly? I mean, I guess Stroll is good
Well,
enough to not.
It depends how it goes this year. Is Alonso going to show him up totally, like some of us are saying?
Yeah, right. If
Maybe the
Alonso's
pressure's
in
on a little bit.
in 8th and Stroll consistently comes in 15th, 16th, like if it's that bad, at some point somebody's got to be like, we got to either get him some training or something, right? Like, I gotta,
I
how do
am
you?
absolutely convinced that Alonso will physically, metaphorically, competitively pull his pants down in front of everyone and spank his tiny little ass.
And let me
Wow.
put my prediction hat on here and say when this happens several years from now, because this is not an impending disaster, he will just decide, I am done with this and I'm going to go do something else. He is going to buy an
This is Stroll, what
indie
you're saying.
team. He'll go to NASCAR.
This is Daddy Strolls who you're
That
talking about.
is going to buy another
What?
team somewhere
That Canucka
else.
Stanian ain't coming to NASCAR. He ain't Travis Pastrana.
But like I said,
You
he'll
want to see
go
him
to
lose, have him come to NASCAR. They'll put him in the walls of.
Oh yeah. But
principle.
I think he is good enough to be on the grid. I do not think the 20 F1 drivers are the 20 best in the world. They are the top 50 because there's 30 people out there who are good and don't have the money. But I think he is a world-class professional race car driver who would do great somewhere else that isn't the pinnacle, whether he decides to go again, Indy,
and I will come back. I will come back.
endurance racing, NASCAR.
I will come back to
he'll do
my
all
thing.
right.
Racing isn't about winning. This is why Danica continued to have a
Yeah,
career
you're right.
in
You're
NASCAR,
absolutely right.
having never won a single event. It is, and Stroll does not know how to play the game because Daddy's always written a check.
Yeah. I think
There's a great podcast. We talked about it before, and it's Sam Smith's Driven to Fail by Haggerty. And
yep.
last week he talked with James Heathcliff, the Honda driver in IndyCar.
Yeah.
It's a great conversation. And this guy talked about when he he moved up to Indy Lights, it was the year that tobacco advertising was banned. And he had to hustle to get a sponsor because it used to be just call a tobacco company. They'll give you 25 million. And then in 2008, he finally moved up to the competitive leagues and the world ended and there was no money. And that guy knows how to go out and hustle and play the game for his sponsors. Stroll has never had to do that and has no capability of doing so in any other level of motorsport. So the only way Stroll will ever get a job is either he has to learn to play the game, and it's a little late for him to learn that, or Daddy writes a check. And if Daddy fires him, Daddy's done writing checks. He'll be a consultant.
No, Daddy will write a check somewhere else. That's what I think.
Yeah. All right. So my unpopular, and we're running long, and I apologize already. My unpopular, who's under the most pressure? He's not going to lose a seat, and he's not going to lose anything. But the person under the most pressure right now is Max Verstappen. Because if you don't live in the Netherlands, you hate him. And everyone knows it. And everyone knows he's a little tool. And everyone knows that his daddy will never love him. And that is on display for the world to see.
Oh, I
now,
like this one.
As far as driving goes, he'll do fine. But it goes back to Chris's point about, what's your character? Tiger Woods was great. And then he started believing his own press, and it all fell apart when he stopped playing to win and started playing to not lose. Every target in Formula One is on Max's back. Does he have the personality and the professionalism to handle that level of pressure in every aspect of his personal and professional life? And he's Dutch, and they are traditionally not very social people, and there is nowhere he can hide. When they post all these ridiculous pictures of Lewis Hamilton wearing puffy coats and shorts and stuff like that, Lewis laughs about it because it's funny to him. But we've already seen Daniel Ricciardo, who was a wonderful personality, but as soon as it started going wrong, he couldn't handle it. So now, any tiniest little mistake Max Verstappen makes is going to be exacerbated by everyone in the press, by every armchair race car driver watching it. And he will continuously be reminded by his father, you have made a mistake. Maybe he gets ditched at another gas station. I don't know. But the person that is under the most pressure is Max Verstappen.
Yes. I agree. He needs to change. You can be the young punk dive bombing, dangerous fool when you're behind. You cannot do that as a reigning champion. If he doesn't give Checo the pass if he continues to be dangerous, if he continues to be the jerk, if he continues not to smile at the camera and give interviews, it's going to look a lot worse now.
All right, bold predictions.
Trifecta. Max, Checo, Charles at the top. A backup driver will score more points than Logan Sargent by the end of the year. And the Vegas race is going to have a major physical issue. Like the track is going to be broken, or something is going to be wrong, or like there's going to be like the crane is on the track when it goes green, something like that. Major issue. I don't think they're ready for it. Physically, the money is there.
I don't think you understand Vegas.
If Miami could pull it off,
We could do it so much better. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just my prediction. Bold predictions, right? We're supposed to go out on a limb
We
here.
said bold.
We did say bold. Checo's gonna if Checo ends up in front of Verstappen again and they tell him to let the pass, Checo's gonna tell him to pound sand. He is 3 years past his expiration date.
Okay.
He is the
Okay.
only backup.
No microphone.
Yeah. Puto su madre.
Yeah. Not a bold prediction. I'm saying we're all believing that shit.
Yeah, he will not give up the pass. He is 3 years past his expiration date. He literally has nothing to lose. He is a national hero. And you look at him, he is relaxed, he is fun, he is happy. He will not play the number 2 driver. He's the only Red Bull number 2 to ever get a 2-year contract in the history of the team. I think he's going to start flexing a little.
Okay. I'm going to say Alonso definitely gets a podium. I'm going to say the old guys at Haas outperform most of the rookies on the long term. And I'm going to say the Canadian GP is the best race of the year because we're going to be there. So
nice.
Second best.
Nope. It's actually going to be the best.
Second best.
It's not going to be the best. It's going to be the
hey,
best.
at least someone will get past it, Canada. Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna give you that one.
And most people will be able to see the race, unlike the flat the grandstand that doesn't exist in Las Vegas. That's just.
Oh no, I was talking more about Monaco.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Vegas. Okay.
Here's a bold prediction. If you see Max get hit with a beer while he's standing on the podium, you will soon read a story about an American who got arrested.
I mean,
long-haired, goat length goatee.
If you can get a beer
wearing a Mercedes
to the podium, you will have a slingshot, and it'll be amazing to be able to get it there.
I believe your former job was an air battle manager. He'll drop that sucker in. He'll be like, get the vectors right on his face.
Actually, I think Chrissy just gave me the just get it, just plastic cup, big slingshot. It won't hurt anybody. It'll just be funny.
I'm sure you're the only person that's ever tried to bring a slingshot into a GP race. Good. That's going to go over well. I love all of your. I'm going to go with your bold predictions all over the place. I love it. I'm also going to add that Sainz is going to win a race because we just watched a whole thing about Ferrari and he was like, I've never made pole. And then when you made pole, you gave it away. So I'm going to go that Sainz might actually win a race.
He won one last year, but
yeah, he did.
Okay. Well,
he'll win
but winning another race would be a big deal for him.
Yes.
Anybody who isn't in a Ferrari or Red Bull or Mercedes winning a race would be an incredibly big. I understand Sainz is a Ferrari driver, but
sure. Yes.
Outside those 6, does anybody have a chance of winning a race?
Only if something really weird happens, like when Gasly won a couple of years ago.
I was just going to say that.
Who didn't come in on the tires?
The crazy rain, some sort of
crazy rain, or Bottas goes bowling for the whole front of the pack. Like those are the weird things that you never know.
Yeah, somebody changed the tires or doesn't change that time I opened Facebook and
it's a colossal fuck up.
Yes. It says Gasly wins Monza, and I'm like, What?
What?
happened? Are you sure? Anyway. Okay.
Anyway, okay, around the horn. I have an F1 around the horn related
Go for it.
question. I'm not talking about who is our favorite. Who would you want to have a meal with, like a lunch, a business lunch, and like record it, like your dream interview / I want to hang out with this person around the horn, anyone in the paddock, owners, drivers,
business lunch?
principals. No, I mean like it could be, it's going to be social, but I'm saying it's like they have to be there. You didn't just run into them. They're not going to be able to blow you off. They're there to talk to you for an hour, but it can be semi-formal. I don't mean like business, like we're here to talk about your sponsorships, you know. Who's got one?
in the paddock.
Anybody in the paddock.
I'll say Toto. I think he's a really interesting guy. Not just, I mean, he's, because not only does he run the team great, but he's been a racer for a long time himself. He's had a bunch of different businesses. He's just a very smart, interesting person who I think could be a stimulating conversation.
Who else got something?
I have so many.
Yeah.
No, I don't have so many. I have 3. Danny Rick. Martin Brundle.
Martin Brundle would be excellent.
Right?
That's a very
That's
good choice.
your
Good call.
answer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Probably
the best
not.
answer.
No,
Yes.
okay. I'm going with Martin Brundle, and I'm going with what's Mrs. Wolf. I just
Susie.
Susie Wolf.
Susie Wolf.
I was
Susie
going, yes,
Wolf.
that was something like that. Susie Wolf.
Yeah. If you have lunch with her, get her workout routine because oh my God, she's amazing.
No
Yeah.
problem. Because time to do that.
Yeah, I didn't think about Martin Brundle. That would probably be the most fun because he would tell you just all the best stories. I would actually say Toto Wolff for the same reason Chris talked about, because he's a leader and he's a really good one about that one. I feel like you'd have the most to learn from him. So then I'm just going to hit the easy button and go Checo. You know,
Más tequila, por favor.
well, see, but also just, you know, the poster child for you thought you were done. It's still the best time of your life. And, you know, if anybody can relate to that, it's the 52-year-old.
I was gonna say Gunther Steiner because I think he's hilarious. I also want to talk to him about, like, I think he knows so much about the sport from the sport side. Like Toto was a racer, you know, like most of the team principals, I think, haven't really done as much of the entertainment side. But I'm totally changing to Martin Brundle because Chrissy was right. And
No, you can't duplicate the answer. No, Martin's already having lunch with Chrissy. He's not available.
no, she said Susie Wolf. I think she decided Susie Wolf was most
No, I said all of them. Also, you can come to my business
pick
lunch
one.
with Martin Brundle, and you can come with
There you
me
go.
to
There you
our
go.
business lunch with Martin Brundle.
Yeah.
I'm down.
This is a fun question. Thank you. All right. If you didn't like F1, I'm very sorry because this is very boring, but hope you enjoyed it.
That's fine. Do we have any idea what we're doing next week?
Talking about the F1 race that just happened?
No,
I'm sure we'll bring it up, but it will dominate the entire show like this one did.
that is our main topic. No clue.
I'm-
We'll figure it
No
out.
clue. We'll figure it out. I'm not worried. And I will say thank you for downloading us. If you have any bold oh, Chrissy, plug the Fantasy GP.
Oh, crap. Fantasy GP. Let me get you the number.
It's on the bottom.
in
Well,
there?
We'll
It's
put
in
it in
our
all the
notes.
show
It is-
notes.
it's
We'll
still
put
in our-
it-
Yeah.
It actually
yeah,
is
yeah.
Put it
leading
on
our
the
show
social
notes on this
media.
one.
We'll
Three
put it
eight
It will
six
stay there
four
for the
eight
next-
oh 94. Bunch of numbers. Join us. We
Fantasy
want-
GP is the website.
It's
Check
free.
it out. It's free. I'll also say thank you for downloading us. If you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers, we're glad you like F1. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because that's what we talk about on most weeks. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. Everyone can be a racer, even you. Sorry. It's totally free. If you wanted to subscribe, hit the like, chomp the button, whatever, give us a 5-star rating, all of those things. Most importantly, if you want to tell us about your F1 predictions, hit us up Everyone Racers, email everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can hit us up on our Facebook page. You could text Mental 484-243-0455, Instagram or Twitter. Slide into those DMs, everyone.racers, YouTube, Facebook, Everyone Racers, even Reddit @/E1R. We are all over the internet. And again, we say thanks for joining us. Keep the shiny side up unless you're like a Verstappen fan. Then just put down the orange smoke, step away, keep those wheels down.